Today would have been my father's 83rd birthday, and the number 83 has added meaning in our household because growing up, my father loved the buses. We took buses to a lot of places. He didn't believe so much in driving. He much more enjoyed taking public transport, buses and trains. But buses were nearby our house. We had 4 routes that went close to our house, and we took buses everywhere. And the 4 bus routes that served the Kingsbury community were the 52, the 79, the 83, and the 183. And therefore, when my father passed those milestones on his life, we used to say, oh, you've done the 52, you've done the 79. But we never managed to say to him, you've done the 83. But those bus rides that he gave us weren't just bus rides, they were family time. In those days when you traveled on the buses, it wasn't like today when you have a phone, your head buried in your phone in WhatsApps or in Netflix or whatever. You would sit and you would look out at the world and you would talk to your brother and you talk to your parents, and it would be an experience. Family. And that's also what today is. For me anyway, a reminder of family. Because it's Talit B'chorot. And Talit B'chorot, the fast of the firstborn, was for our household a very special day. From a young age I can remember, we'd be woken up very early, I think 6 o'clock, to be in the car by 6:30, to drive, not go on a bus, to drive about half an hour to Lauderdale Road, to Maida Vale, to the Sephardi synagogue there where my dad worked, to attend the Shacharit service there. We got dressed in Yom Tov Fainim, I remember. It was a big deal. And it was a real big deal because we didn't go to Shacharit the rest of the year. We went to Shul on Shabbat and we went on Yom Tov, but in the mornings during the year, we didn't go to Shacharit. So this was a big deal. And I remember it had made a big impression then, and still makes a big impression. And also it was the prelude to Seder night. It was a prelude to this time in my life where just everything was special. Seder night was a special evening. First night we played at home, second night we played away, but it was always about being with a family. But for me, it wasn't just about Seder night. Seder night was the pinnacle, I guess, of the family experience at home, but it wasn't the only experience. We had every Friday night, every Shabbat lunch, every Sukkot and Rosh Hashanah and Shavuot and the Chagim was around that table. My mother's food and the conversation and everything. Seder night was the ultimate in terms of family experience, but it certainly wasn't unique. And that brings me to something the Chief Rabbi wrote today, because a realization that he has and we have to have about the Jewish home, for me, that was the most important thing. Yes, I went to a Jewish school, North London Jewish Day School, and yes, I was very involved in my shul Kingsbury, but I had a strong and vibrant Jewish home. The Chief Rabbi writes an article today about the lessons to be learned from this year of devastation. And he writes the following. First, the pandemic has highlighted, for us, the centrality of our homes in securing our Jewish future. At the most impressionable time of our children's lives, a love for Yiddishkeit is caught and not taught. And no amount of time spent at school, shul, or youth center can replace meaningful Jewish experiences at home. In partnership with our wonderful schools and shul communities, we must encourage and inspire families to think of the home as the center stage in which Jewish life plays out, to ensure that our homes will be the most significant guarantor of Jewish continuity. I was blessed, my brother was blessed, that our Yiddishkeit was caught and not just taught. And I remember my years in Stanmore as a community rabbi, I would say to the parents of the children that we were involving in our programs, saying to them, you've got to take this idea back into your homes. You have to also, as parents, embrace the growth your kids are going through. It can't be just the shul. It has to be the shul and the home. And Seder night is the predominant familial experience of the year. And in many ways, the most important one, because we have other major experiences as a Jewish community, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, for example, but they happen in the shul, they don't happen in the home. This is the one that happens in the home. That 90% of Jews globally have a Seder, which is fantastic. But the question is it a unique event? Is it one night, 2 nights, or is it just literally that's it? Is it any more than that? Does it happen the following Shabbat? Does it happen the following Chag? And that's the challenge, to make sure that Seder night is not just the pinnacle, but is one of the 52 or 60 familial celebrations you have around the table for Shabbat and Yom Tov. And there's a hint in the Seder. I talk about this in the Mizrahi article about Rachsa. Rachsa, of all the 15 orders of the Seder, is the one that is the most normal. We wash our hands. We do it all the time. Every single day I have bread, wash your hands, Amshat Yadayim. What's the Chiddush of Rachsa? And it's not there to be a Chiddush. It's there to say to us, this is what it is to be a Jew. It's every single day. It's every single week in your home. Don't just make Seder night the one and only. Make it part of the yearly life of a Jew at home. That's what my father and my mother gave us, a strong Jewish home. Again, on his 83rd birthday, it would have been, I remember those wonderful times on the buses, but also those wonderful times around the dining room table for Shabbat, for Yom Tov, and of course, for that magical night of the year, Seder night. Wishing you a Chag Kasheva Sameach and Shabbat Shalom.